Yeah, this truck does all kinds of cool stuff. And by the way, welcome everybody. Greetings from Pelicamp. Beautiful sunny day here in the Big Bend area of Florida. A little too warm for my taste, actually. And today is the day you've all been waiting for. At least I hope so. Today we're introducing Starship.
I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah.
Why Starship, you might ask? Well, let me tell you something. This truck, I really like the way it looks aesthetically. It kind of reminds me of the Starship Enterprise. And wait till you see inside, which, by the way, this is the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 LT Trail Bus, and what they're calling the 2022 refresh, which is the one where they got rid of the steering column shifter. They went with an electronic shifter down here, and they replaced the whole dash with a LCD screen, so it's all digital now. And that's why I'm calling it the Starship Enterprise, because you get in there and the first thing you see is that digital dash, and you really feel like you are, you feel like going, engage. Yeah, really, seriously. So I really do like the way this looks aesthetically. This is the color that I like. The color that I chose on the Colorado, I didn't really choose it. It was the one that they had that had the trailering package. And the Colorado, it never felt like it was like, I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? I even called it unofficially Denver, and I never called it that name. I mean, I shouldn't trash talk it. It was the most reliable vehicle I've ever had for 130,000 miles. It was only like unleaded gasoline and synthetic oil, and that was pretty much it. I changed the air filter a couple of times because, as you know, we went to the desert and all that. But this actually is kind of my style, silver and black. I think it looks beautiful, and for a truck that is going to be off-roading a lot, and even here at Pelicamp, it's all dirt roads. It's going to be dirty half of the time, and this color is very forgiving when it comes to like dirt and dust, and that I like. Another thing that with this truck is first for me. It's probably the nicest, most expensive thing I've ever bought, and I bought it sight unseen. I had been speaking with Joe Ferry of Ferry Chevrolet, and he told me, I'm going to get you the truck. And I've seen pictures, of course, and this was the new refresh. This was like one of the first refresh trucks that actually rolled out of the assembly line. It's built in Mexico, and we were waiting, actually, we were doing the tracking with the railroad, and eventually it arrived in South Carolina, and that's when I decided to interrupt my Lewis and Clark trip and go get it, take delivery of it, and I'm going to go through some of the pros and cons that I've gone through here. I'm probably missing some stuff, and then again, I've only had it for about 3 months, but I already put 14,000 miles on it. Most of them highway miles, most of them towing miles, but let me tell you. My pros here, and I have a little list because my hard drive is getting full. First of all, comfort while driving long distances, and that's something that my previous truck did not have. And it's comfortable leather seats, and the very low road noise, and the suspension is great for highway driving, even with these hefty tires, they do at certain speeds, provide a little bit of road noise. It's a very, very well insulated cockpit there, and the engine noise is also very, very low. And sometimes you don't even, if you stop at a stoplight, you don't even know that the engine is running. Although it does have that auto stop that we'll go about that in the cons part of this review, as I like to call it. It's not really a review, it's just a reveal video. I just want to give you my impressions of the new truck. I'll leave the reviews to the Jay Lanos of the world, to the experts. I don't consider myself an automotive expert. I do know it has a 5.3 V8 engine, it has a 10-speed transmission and all that. And the other, pro number 2, that all digital display that I'm going to show you after we finish out here. I'm going to grab the handheld camera and I'm going to show you inside, just just the basics a little bit, so you see what it looks like. And that digital display, it's a huge screen here in the middle, and then the digital dash. But it comes integrated with Google Apps. It comes with Google Maps, and it has an App Store, Spotify. So you don't even need to have your CarPlay or Android Auto connected to it. It comes integrated with. And there's a con about that too, but we'll go that in the cons. It has that cool shifter, which is a pro and a con as well. I'll let you know about it. But you get used to it. It's something that you have to get used to. And now, third pro, the headlights. This thing, it's probably meant for like off-road, but these headlights are amazing. Even the low beam, it illuminates like 180 degrees. And it has fog lights, and then it has that automatic high beam that, up until now, I've been kind of low tech when it comes to vehicles. Even the Colorado, had some tech, but not as much as this. And those high beams, I could be in the middle of nowhere. I'm looking forward actually to taking it to Arizona this winter. Hopefully we'll be able to go to Quartzsite and test some of those features out, because test the lights. They're really. Now I look at older vehicles, and I'm gonna sound like, I don't know. It might sound bad, but I look at older vehicles with halogen, and they look antiquated now, compared to vehicles that come with this LED technology. And it's so evenly. Oh, there's a B. It illuminates everything so evenly. It's remarkable, actually. My other one, I called it 4Low, and I had never had a four-wheel drive vehicle, or not even an all-wheel drive vehicle. So a couple of months ago, and you'll see those videos probably in December, I took it to Utah, and I did the Schaefer Trail in Canyonlands National Park. And it was rough because it had been raining a lot, so there was mud, there was rocks, it was almost like truly off-roading. And then I discovered 4Low. You put it in four-wheel drive, low setting, and this thing just grabs the ground like you wouldn't believe. And for those of you who've had four-wheel drive or Jeeps for a long time, you might be laughing at me. Robert, we've known about that for a long time, but for me, it was quite a remarkable experience. And now I'm looking forward to camping on the beach or places where four-wheel drive is recommended or required even. So it's very cool. The other pro, the design, and I put it there, I shouldn't have put it there, but I think it's a beautiful truck. I like the design. I don't quite like the Chevys that had the gold bow tie. I really like this black and white design with the red accents. It's very nice. And when I grab the handheld camera, we're gonna go around it so you can see the whole thing. And as far as other pros, it's loaded with features. This is not like the top, what is it, the high country, the trail, but it comes with that tailgate that goes up and down automatically if you really wanted to. I did put a bed rug, so now the going back up doesn't usually go all the way up because it senses an obstacle. So I lost that feature, but I gained the feature of not having as much dust in the bed. So. I might show you that as well. And it has things that I had never had before. And when you're in Florida, you don't care about those things. But since I travel all over the country, heated steering, heated seats, and those are something that you don't really need down here. I would like to have an air conditioner here, by the head, here in Florida in general. But when you wake up and it's 40 degrees, and those things turn on automatically. You turn on the car and the steering gets hot and the seat gets warm. It's very nice. And also it has safety features. It has that collision detection, and I'm not sure, because, and I'm not willing to test it. I'm not sure if it actually brakes by itself or it just gives you a warning, but I hope it does, if it ever happens. And it does have a lane departure warning, and it kind of shifts you back up. I actually did the test in one of these roads that it doesn't have a lot of traffic, and it does steer you back a couple of times, and then eventually tells you, hey, grab the steering wheel. So I just tested it out, and it works actually very well on relatively straight and interstate and all that. When you're going through some of those windy mountain roads, and this is maybe a con, but you can turn it off. So sometimes it oversteers you a little bit, so it kind of fights you as you're driving on mountain roads. So in some of those occasions, I just turn it off, and that's it. So those are the main pros. I mean, it's really a delight to drive this thing on the interstate and even off-road. Now the cons. The software is still a little buggy, I'm sure. I don't know if this is the same, the first vehicle where Chevrolet or General Motors in general implements this digital screen with all this, with the Android Auto and all that. But sometimes, it'll have errors here and there. Sometimes, like, the trajectory lines don't show up on the camera, and there's no way to put them on, turn them on or off. And it's slow. It's like maybe because of the chips shortage, but it feels like imagine like you install the latest version of Android on a Galaxy S7 or something like that. It's a slow hardware, and you feel it. Sometimes you put your destination and it could take 10, 15, 20 seconds for it to actually give you driving directions, and that's something that they might fix with the software update. I already had one software update, so that's something that they might fix. And little annoyances, like when you have the trailer hooked up, if you turn on the turn signal, it'll automatically go to one of the mirror cameras and show you that on the main screen. And sometimes, when I'm turning, I want to see the map. I want to see what comes next. I mean, there's an X where you can turn it off, but I wish that sometimes you could turn it off completely, because to be honest, it is not really that helpful. It's basically the same image you see in the mirror. So that's one of the things. Continuing with the cons, and this is something that I don't know, I think that it's maybe a design flaw, but the rear view camera is not exactly in the middle. It's a little off center. So when you are backing in to hook up the trailer, it gives you that line to guide you. Well, that line is not where it's supposed to be. So the camera is off center, so you have to get used to it, but it's not the best position for a camera to be when it's looking down and you're trying to align the ball with the trailer. It's not looking straight down, it's looking at an angle. So you get used to it. And the next con is something that it's just probably in part me not being used to, me being used to being very nimble, and it's the size and the turning radius. I mean, of course, we have a longer wheelbase, so the turning radius is not as tight as it was with any previous vehicle that I had. The height is 6'7", so now I will not fit in every garage. There are some garages that are 6'5", 6'6", that I will have to pay attention to that for my vertical clearance. And actually in Portland, Oregon, and you haven't seen that video yet, I got into a parking garage where it was super tight. In fact, it was one lane road going up and down, and you have to let the next person go through, and it was very difficult to navigate. I mean, luckily we have all those cameras, and that was a pro that I didn't actually tell you about. Maybe I misread it, but I want to show you the cameras. It has that 360 camera with trajectories that when it works well, it's fabulous. It's quite the system. Another con is, this is not really a con, this is just a byproduct of it being a trail bus, is the tire noise. You know, you have the road noise. You have these hefty tires that are meant for off-roading. So sometimes, and it happens the most like at 30 miles per hour or something like that, or 40, and you hear woo, 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 exactly that noise. And that's that tire noise that can be annoying. And now my iPad is doing something that is really annoying as well, so bear with me. Another con is that the unorthodox shifter, you know, that, and I'm going to show it to you. I don't see the need to reinvent the wheel. You know, regular shifter with parking, reverse, neutral, drive, and low works perfect. So this gets a little bit of used to get into, because it's just a shifter that goes back and forth, and then it has a parking button in the middle. So I'll show it to you in a few. Another con, and it's not really a con. Maybe I was cranky when I wrote this list a couple of days ago. It has the Bose branded system, but it doesn't really sound Bose to me. I mean, maybe even the Colorado, which wasn't Bose branded, maybe even sounded a little better than this. I mean, the bass is not as punchy as I was expecting. It sounds fine. It sounds fine on Spotify. On satellite radio, you can tell maybe the system is so good that you can tell the heavy compression that Sirius XM uses on the satellite music. It's fine. It's just, I'm a little bit of an audiophile. They do sell aftermarket, like subwoofers and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do one of those. Okay, the other con, the lane departure warning, that sometimes it tends to overcorrect, especially on windy roads. So you feel like the steering is fighting you back. Or maybe you're the one driving wrong and the steering is doing it right. I don't know. I'm gonna show you inside now some of the button placements. I don't know why you will put the button to open the tailgate right next to the hazard lights, you know, the blinkers. And that's, I mean, I'm very afraid to open the tailgate, and luckily when the car is in motion, it doesn't do it. Ask me how I found out. But still, you know, some of the button placements could be different, and not overly configurable display. I mean, you have a digital display. There's some configuration to the look of it, but I would like to be able to change colors, you know, do other things, you know, like make it look like MySpace back in the day. No, maybe not. Maybe it's a good thing that it's not as configurable, but yeah, there's a lot of room for improvement there, if you will. And there are certain things like you know, when you're trailering and you turn on the turn signal, that it automatically switches to the camera. I haven't figured out a way to turn it off, like permanently. So things like that. And that start-stop is not as annoying as I thought it would be, but I feel sometimes it is unnecessary. Sometimes you stop at a stoplight for like 2 seconds and the engine will turn off just to turn right back on. And there's a way to disable it, but it enables itself back on every time you turn on the car. So, and then my final con, I mean, it's a 5.3 V8. It is a gas guzzler. And towing is pretty much the same as the Colorado. Towing, you know, I've been, you know, averaging 10, around 10. I've been able to crack 12 and 13 on days where I'm going generally downhill with a tailwind. I've done 8. It was very windy in the Midwest this summer. So some days were 7, 8 mile per hour days. Mile per gallon day. Which is, it's when you're towing, that's pretty much the standard, no matter what vehicle you have, I think. But then when not towing, and that's when I compare it with the Colorado that had a smaller engine V6. When not towing, the Colorado would do high 20s. I'll be lucky to crack 20 on a good day, 20 miles per gallon. Towing, not towing, just driving at 55 on a flat interstate. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. I was expecting a little better fuel economy, but then again, it's a huge truck. It's a capable truck, and for the most part, I am very happy with it. I just love the way it looks. Actually, one thing that I like, I like to be sometimes a little bit inconspicuous. This kind of looks a little flashy and ostentatious, and that's the one thing that I'm more concerned now when I stop at a parking lot that it may be more of a target for like, vandalism or whatnot. Like old Kia, nobody would even take a second look at. And this is, in my opinion, a very beautiful truck. Now let me grab the handheld camera and show you inside, because let me tell you, it's getting hot in here. Well, I moved it into the shade here a little bit so I can show you better inside, because the sun was hitting us. Hitting us pretty bad. And here we go. As soon as you walk in, we are greeted by this massive digital display here. And I think it's a nice touch that they did that animation. It says Trail Bus, the Chevy logo here. We have a push button start, of course. You wouldn't have it any other ways on a vehicle, on a modern vehicle. And now you can't really see me all that well. Excuse the mess in here, but we're moving tomorrow. So here we go. Here's that digital display that I was telling you about. And it's configurable. You can configure it like if you like round dials, or if you like different look. But it's not, or whatever information you want to see on each side, how much information you want to see. That is configurable, but not a whole lot more. And then here we have the main screen. It has a nice, it has a menu with all, your audio, your maps, your phone. Cameras, which actually the cameras are really cool. This is what it looks like, and that will be the front camera. If you put it on reverse, you'll see press shifter button. Hello. If you put it on reverse, you'll see the reverse view. But I really like this 360 view with all the trajectory lines. I don't know if you can see it all that well on the screen there, but yeah, it shows all the trajectory lines. Let me put it on forward. So there we go. Okay, this is the music, and right now I have it on Spotify, but you have all different kinds of sources. The internet is not very fast here, so that's one thing. But you have Sirius XM, FM, AM, Bluetooth, Google News, podcast, even a USB port. Let's put it on Sirius XM for now, and that works very well. It has other features, phone cameras, Google Assistant, Google Play Store, where you can buy different apps. And of course it does this split screen, so whenever you're doing something here on the left, you still have your maps on the right. And of course it has also a home button here. It has a trailering, climate. If you feel so inclined, you could also control the climate from there. But we have dual zone down here. Climate control. This is the built-in trailer brake. And what else? And the buttons. You can lower the tailgate, but it's easy to get those confused. And then for some reason it has an opening all windows button, which I don't think I'll ever use. This is downhill assist. It's got all kinds of features. And then on this side you have all the lights, all the modes. It even has a cargo light and a light that illuminates the outside, like if you're working next to the truck. And here you have all your modes: automatic, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, for high, for low. This will trigger an off-road mode, and down here will be towing mode. So yeah, that is the Silverado in a nutshell. I really like the way the truck looks aesthetically. You see, the flies love trucks for some reason. Not much of an exhaust note to talk about is there. You can tell it's a V8, but it's very quiet, which I like. I don't like vehicles that make noise. And it has that that trail bus look with the black rims, and I personally think it looks cool. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if I'm doing something wrong, if you like what you see, and that's it. Coming to you from Pelicamp, where our original trailer still resides. Thank you always so much for watching, and see you on the road. Well, as I'm editing the video here, it just came to my attention that perhaps I focused a little too much on the cons, and you might think that I don't like the vehicle, but nothing farther from the truth. I mean, I really love this truck. Like any machinery, you know, it's gonna have annoyances here and there, but Starship here is gonna take us places where we've never been able to go before. Beach, camping, and 2 months ago, for example, I did the Schaefer Trail in Canyonlands National Park in Utah, and it's gonna bring a little bit of more of that overlanding aspect to our travels, which I'm really looking forward to. I also want to thank Joe Ferry of Ferry Chevrolet in Orangeburg, South Carolina, for getting me the truck, and such a nice gentleman, such a nice family-owned business, and I want to thank them because without them, I may not have been able to get this particular truck. So, thank you, Joe, and until the next one, now for real. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road. Oh, one more thing. Well, I was just editing and I realized that I forgot to show you the shifter here. And this is that new shifter for, if you want to put it on drive, you just go drive and it says drive there. You put it on reverse, like that. You want to put it on neutral, it goes on drive. Neutral is there, neutral. And then if you want to put it on park, you park it. And of course, if you put it on drive and on low, then you have paddle shifters here, and then on the right, I don't know if you can see it a bit under the tachometer, you can change the gears. And yeah, now for real. Thank you for watching, and see you on the road.